All of us had a moment where we were like, oh, this is gonna work. This is totally gonna work.
Look, I'm not letting you go in there alone.
You wanna help? Keep the car running.
Okay.
The hallway fight in Iron Man 2, kind of the first choreographed stunt I'd ever done. We established a lot of the now kind of iconic Widow moves and poses, so there's like the whole like leg wrap thing. You know, obviously the actual Widow pose, which gets referenced in the standalone film a lot. A lot of the moves are really spider-like, they're balletic, and they sort of pay homage to Natasha's past. I'm still doing a lot of those moves today.
You brought the monster.
So, Banner. That's your play.
Loki, Natasha in Avengers, it gives us some information about Natasha's past, but it also, we really get to see kind of her wearing many masks in that scene, and it's just a scene I think that really embodies Joss Whedon and his creative style, his creative writing style, and how it's got this great dramatic intensity, and then it's just super playful, and to me it's such a Joss Whedon moment, as much as it is a Natasha Romanoff moment.
Who do you want me to be?
How about a friend?
Well, there's a chance you might be in the wrong business, Rogers.
When you see Nat and Steve in the car in Winter Soldier and they're talking to each other, it's really like a result of 10 years of knowing somebody and being able to have kind of intimacy with them that I think you get from just spending a lot of time with somebody and knowing their kind of soft underbelly. And we had a lot of fun doing it.
I think you're being hard on yourself.
Here I was hoping that was your job.
What are you doing?
If I had to be vulnerable with any one of those actors, you know, Mark is such a wonderful scene partner to do that with because he's so open himself. So, and ironic because I was also really pregnant at the time when we were shooting it. So yeah, I guess Mark really had to suspend his disbelief there because it was, you know, just below here was this giant pregnant belly.
What do we do, Cap? We fight.
This is gonna end well.
In Civil War, there's obviously this huge fight that happens on the tarmac. You know, you have all these stunt guys with like big like helmets and full, you know, body gear, and then there's my character who doesn't have any of that stuff. So I was like, it'll be me with this stunt team, which is how it normally is. And I remember like both, you know, sides like running at each other, full speed, charging at each other, and you knew that the universe would be forever changed after that.
We're still friends, right?
Depends on how hard you hit me.
Nat and Clint, you know that they're gonna be friends for life. And it's not the first time that they punch each other in the face, so. That's what friends are for.
He'll die alone, as will you.
She's not alone.
So Denai and I basically are losing in Infinity War, and Scarlet Witch comes in and saves the day, and Okoye has this great moment where she's like, where was that? Like, why couldn't you have been here earlier? Whatever, like, where'd she come from? Yeah, we were just this random other unit that was fighting in a ditch for like weeks. When Lizzie came along, we were like, and where have you been? You get to do the awesome hero pose. We've been eating dirt for, you know, 3 weeks. But also very fun. In Endgame, we actually shot the Soul Stone sacrifice several different ways. Originally, we were being pursued by like an army of like Dementor type of creatures that I was thinking like kids are gonna never, like parents will never forgive us for how these creatures look. They're so so terrifying. And so we were being threatened by those guys. But what the Russo brothers kept kind of coming up against was like, gosh, you know, the movie is so full of all these huge explosive moments. They just missed some sort of intimacy between these two characters. So we ended up reshooting it and really making it just with Nat and Clint, and just having it be a very unexpected kind of moment that just left the audience with the, just, you know, wanted to leave them with that, the weight of that loss and the shock of it. Really felt very moving and bittersweet, you know. All the fight sequences in this Black Widow standalone come from like a deep emotional place. All of the feelings that you associate with your family, the disappointment that comes with expectation, you know, and the sense of trust or broken trust or, you know, abandonment or whatever, all that stuff, it should feel very familiar, which is really fun. It's like when you see prize fighters who like have come together to like have a second go at it, and you know that there's just all that like built up tension in a good kind of way, that like the audience is like, oh yes, like this is so exciting because there's like an emotional journey that got them there. Yeah, it kills. It totally kills. Something that, you know, I will always remember is that scene in Avengers where we kind of assemble in the wreckage of New York. None of us knew if this movie was gonna work. It seemed crazy. There's like a Nordic god, and there's, you know, the Tony Stark character, like billionaire playboy, and then there's like a mutant scientist who's, you know, got like an anger management problem. You know, there's all these crazy backstories that we have with like, how is this, like this sounds like it's either gonna be, people are gonna love it or they're gonna think it's gonna be a mess. And I remember all of us assembling in that circle and looking around, and I think all of us had a moment where we were like, oh, this is gonna work.